Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Guthix Rest. This is episode number 13. I am joined once again
by Birdfacts. By me. It's me.
Him. It's the facts.
That's true.
How's your week going?
It's been going good. The Independence Day week. Let's go. America. Hell yeah. Fuck
USA.
yeah.
USA. Red, white, and blue. Let's fucking go.
I'll edit some Star Spangled Banner in there.
We went down to a friend's lake house, and you didn't go because you suck.
Yeah, no, I woke up that morning, and I just had, like, the worst nausea of my life. I don't know what it was. It went away, like, in the evening, but I just felt like vomiting all day. It was
Sounds
not
like
a
a
good
skill
time.
issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went down there. I brought my kayak on my my rig. Just tied it up top because I can do that because I have a big Forerunner.
Oh yeah.
Brought it down, paddled around the lake. Swam another time.
I heard everyone got super sunburnt.
Everybody else maybe. I got it like a little bit on my arms. But the great part about being me is that I'm pretty easy to sunburn, but basically it goes away overnight. It's like already all gone.
Oh, that's nice.
I've never really had an issue. As long as I put on sunscreen, I'll still get burnt, but it'll go away. Also, my face didn't get burnt at all. It's just like my arms and my knees.
My roommate's cheeks were pretty bright red yesterday, and his neck was all burnt.
Yeah, actually, I managed to not get my neck and face burnt. I was wearing a hat most of the time. Those little sun hats.
Yeah, it helps.
My kayak hat.
Mm-hmm.
So that probably helped. But
oh yeah,
it was fun. We hung out. There were fireworks. The entire lake exploded. It was awesome. It was great.
Yeah, this is the second year I've been here for 4th of July at my new place. I've been here for over a year now, but last 4th of July I went to the marina for 4th of July. And so this is the first time I've been like in the neighborhood.
Did they do anything at the marina
last year? And apparently
the
neighbors go fucking hard. Sorry, what?
Did they do anything at the marina last year? I thought this was the first year back from COVID.
I think they did something at the marina last year. Unless I didn't go to the marina, and then I have no idea what I did 4th of July last year. But I wasn't here, that's for sure.
I was told that the marina, or maybe it was a different show, but there was some show they did that it was the first time back since the COVID times. So
yeah, I think they did something last year. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe they didn't. Either way, this is the first time I've been in the neighborhood for 4th of July, and apparently the neighbors go fucking hard. Because it sounded like a war zone, dude. Some of the explosions rocked the house. I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah,
these people are going crazy.
When I was driving your roommate back, as I drove, the giant fucking hill that goes down to the stoplight. Mm-hmm. I didn't come up that, but as I drove through that area, at the top of the hill where there's like the corner that leads into the road that goes to your guys' place.
Yeah.
There were just some people out there. They had like a bunch of fireworks out in the road. And I had to like stop for a second and wait for it to finish going off and then drive through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was told by my other roommates, because we're in unincorporated the unincorporated part of our city, and the cops just don't really give a shit. I don't know how true that is, but
yeah, it seems to be relatively true because every year when I come home from whatever function that I've gone to, because I usually go to a function, shit's still going off. Nobody's been stopped. Like,
yeah, there was stuff going off till like 3 a.m.
Yeah, I think I got home at like 1, and then immediately passed out. So I don't know. The fireworks don't stop me from passing the fuck out, literally at all.
Yeah, I mean, I went to bed at like
later.
10, so I'm a boomer. I go to bed early now, but I also get up at like 7 a.m. It's kind of nice. I have the whole day. I have the morning to kind of do whatever without having to worry about like instantly doing things or talking to people. I like my quiet mornings.
Boomer.
But, sad that I couldn't come to the lake, but I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, it was great. Sucks to be you.
True. Anything interesting going on in game? You doing any
absolutely
skilling
not.
or bossing? No?
I've been AFKing a little bit of Forestry. I think I went from like level, I want to say I was like, I had to at least been 85 because I +5 boosted for the cut a redwood log. So I was at least 85, but I am now level 89, almost 90.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So that's cool. I think I have like, according to XP Bank's plugin, I have 97 construction XP banked right now.
Oh, nice. Have you just been turning them into planks as you go, or do you also have to turn those into planks?
So because I have the Forestry log sack now, I bring that with me. So I also bring the plank sack with me. So I get about like, I get 28
so you do like
logs
3
per
inventories.
Yeah, it's great. I don't have to do as much running. It's awesome.
So you do.
So I do
one inventory of logs.
The log
in
sack
the log
will fill
sack.
up. Yep. And then my inventory fills up. I go and I turn those into planks, put those in the plank sack, go fill up another inventory, turn those into planks, and then I go to the bank.
Oh, that is huge IQ.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That sounds like shit I would have done if I was still woodcutting and, cared about getting construction XP.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
But, I'm a main. I'll just buy the planks.
And then, every once in a while a forestry event happens. That's fun. I think I'm at like 7,000 bark right now. I'm saving up for the clothes pouch upgrade. Because then I'm just going to wear prayer gear so I can pray preserve for longer.
Does it give you the stat bonus?
Yeah.
Of the gear? Okay.
It gives you the stat bonuses of the gear, but if I think it has like a passive effect like graceful or some other skill increase like the runecraft outfit or the fishing outfit, then it overrides.
I kind of feel like that defeats the purpose. I feel like the way it should work is it should just negate the... Yeah. It should work as a transmog,
Yeah, exactly.
Where it's visually the armor you're wearing, but it has no stats. And I mean, like, weight.
Yeah, I kind of... Well, maybe weight, but... It shouldn't... The whole idea is that you can wear whatever you want. But if I want to wear the fucking runecraft outfit, well, no, I can't. And it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Because I like the way the runecraft outfit looks. I usually wear it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sucks. I might be wrong on that. Let me wiki it really quick just to double check, but I am pretty sure that's how that works.
I mean, it sounds about right.
Clothes pouch. What do we got? Let's see. Equipping pieces of other outfits with a set effect bonus, such as various skilling outfits or Inquisitor's armor, in slots where the Lumberjack outfit is normally worn, will disable the Lumberjack effect for these slots, yeah. So you can't even wear Inquisitors.
So it has to just be things with a set effect.
Yeah, you can't wear things that have some other set effect. So Graceful, Inquisitors, Justy, which is kind of lame.
Yeah.
I feel like...
I'd rather have it just
around.
function as a transmog.
Yeah, I feel like that should be the other way around, but that'll probably never get changed, sad.
Yeah.
If you wanted to wear Justy while woodcutting, fuck you.
Yeah. That's,
kind of cringe. But what can you do?
So you're going for the clothes pouch. Do you have Have you gotten the log brace again for the collection log? Now that that's a thing.
No, I have not.
No.
It's not a big deal. It's only 3,000 and it's tradable. So like, worst case, I just like drop it to my main because it's a free to play item. How much? I don't even know how much.
You could also give it to your groupie.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think he really cares about the collection log.
Yeah.
Log brace says it's worth 4,000 GP. Let's see what it's actually worth. About almost just under 400k right now.
Yeah,
that seems about right. I'd imagine it's probably going to level out in like the 100k range.
Apparently people are like mass botting it because it's pretty easy to get bots into Forestry.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. I don't really see that as a problem. That's just,
I mean,
if you add items that are tradable to the game, that's bound to happen.
Yeah. I don't like when they tailor updates to try to like curb bots, because all it does is hurt actual players.
Just get a security team.
Yeah, true.
I hate to say it. Just listen, whoever's on the security team right now at Jagex, if you're listening, I'm sure you're doing great work, but I'm not fucking seeing it. I'm sorry.
So, from what I understand, they ban a lot of bots. It's just there's a ton of them. And
I mean, it's a
the barrier to entry
race,
to get a bot in is so low.
Yeah.
And, like, some are bound to slip through the cracks. But, like, player faith in the system is so low. Like, people will, say the report button does nothing. And it's hard to disagree with them. When you report someone and you don't see them get banned, it's just like, okay, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
And there's no, like, confirmation. Like, other games or, like, other websites and stuff, they'll send you a message and be like, hey, we've received your report, and then you'll get a message a couple days later like, hey, your report led to a ban.
I think that's the real problem right now, right? Is because they used to do all kinds of, like, bot busting streams. They used to share, like, the statistics of how many bots they banned. There's no feedback as to what they're doing. It just happens in the background. And like I said, I'm sure they're doing a great job, but I'm not seeing it. So as far as I know, they're just sitting on their ass doing nothing, which I'm sure they're not, but I don't know what they're doing.
I don't know who used to do, like, the statistics for, like, bans. I don't know if that was, like, Mod Lottie, because they did, like, statistics for, like, pets and stuff, which is why we haven't gotten that in a while.
Yeah.
And they're gone. But I don't know if they were also giving us, like, ban statistics, but, we haven't had a bot busting stream since we started playing this game.
Yeah. It's been ages.
I
it's
think
not
we
like the
both
bot
started
busting
around the same
streams
time.
were like, super effective methods of getting rid of bots, but it was a way to kind of generate some hype and be like, hey guys, we are in fact banning bots.
Yeah, it's more of a PR thing than, like, an effective way to ban bots. I'm sure, like, if you're spending time setting up the bot busting stream, you're probably banning less bots, but that, it makes players think that you're banning more bots.
Yeah. It's that feedback that actually gives players literally any faith that you're doing literally anything at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm sure they're doing a great job, but I'm just not seeing it. And I don't know if that's on their priority list of things to resolve.
Yeah.
I know, I think Mod Ash, when there was like that wave of bans, that was like Frame got banned on one of his accounts and shit. I know that Ash tweeted something about, like, they're working on some tool that's going to have some pretty sweeping changes. So we'll see if that is, like, announced at all, or if that just gets, like, shadow dropped and then, like, we never hear about it.
I can't imagine they're going to announce that. It's generally like, anti-bot measures are never, like, publicly discussed, because then botters will have more information to go off of on how to, like, avoid bot bans.
It's not like they should announce it, right? Announce that, like, oh, we're about to drop it. But, like, a couple months after you drop it, maybe, just tell the community, hey, guys, we introduced a new anti-botting measure, like, a couple months ago. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
And, like,
I've seen,
at that point,
like, screenshots.
At that point, like, a couple months afterwards, the botters have probably already figured out that you've put in a new tool. So at this point, you're just telling everybody else that doesn't know, because they don't get banned every 20 seconds. So, I don't know. I'd just like to... I want literally anything about, like, hey guys, we introduced this thing a couple months ago. It banned this many bots. It's still working. I don't need to know how it works. I don't need to know when it dropped exactly. I just want to know that you're doing stuff.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to go about it. I've seen, like, on Twitter and Reddit stuff, I think maybe in, like, a Behe video as well, like, screenshots from botting discords where people are, like, complaining that their bots are getting mass banned. So, like, maybe it's already out. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. I wouldn't know, because I don't get banned, because I'm not an idiot.
True. Yeah, imagine botting. That'd be cringe.
Yeah. I've definitely never done that in the past.
I actually never have. I'm a good boy.
It was very low level AHK botting when I was like 12.
What are you now, 13?
Yeah. They were like the most inefficient bots. Like I was doing the stupidest I was literally mining like pure essence because I wanted more pure essence. Like I wrote bots for just things that I found annoying. Like I probably made no money off of them, but I was just like, this is annoying. I know how to program computers. I'm going to solve this problem.
That's so funny.
And like it didn't even register in my brain that I was like making bots and like being against TOS
breaking
or whatever.
The rules.
Yeah. I was just like, I'm solving a problem.
Yeah, of course, you're just using the tools at your disposal.
Yeah, that was how I saw it back then. Obviously, I don't do that shit anymore. I got a couple more brain cells, but it was a thing that I did.
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit it.
So
I'm not a coward.
So have you been up to anything else this week, or?
Not really. I bought a lot of games. Before you sent me $100, I spent $100 in games on the Steam Summer Sale.
Well, there you go.
But yeah, I bought some games. I've been playing some of them. We had a stint of playing this game called Trailmakers for a bit. That's been pretty fun. It's basically Lego-int.
Okay.
You just build like
video game Lego.
Yeah, video game Lego, but like Lego Technic. You build like cars or planes or whatever you want, just vehicles, and
sounds fun.
Yeah, you can fuck around with them. We were just playing the campaign mode where basically you start with like a limited set of bricks, and you got to go around and collect these things in order to get more bricks. And like this one's up on a cliff, or this one's really big and heavy, so you got to build different kinds of machines to be able to collect them, and then you get new parts and build more and more complex machines. It was fun. We haven't played it in a while, but there was a couple days where we just played that literally all day. It was a weekend that one of our friends had off, and we just full sent on that game. It was really fun. There's more content to be done, but I've moved on. Playing a game that I already had actually, called Dome Keeper. It's been like a year since I played that game. I remember it briefly popped off on Twitch when it released.
Yeah, I mean, I played that game at PAX before it came out, and that game was absolutely sick.
Yeah, it reminded me of Motherlode, which is an old Flash game.
Yeah! God, that's so nostalgic.
There's actually, if you didn't know, it's on sale on the Steam Summer Sale. There's a game called Super Motherlode, made by the developers of Motherlode. It has 4-player co-op. I got Malachi to buy it. And I think it's only like $4. I think it also comes with a downloadable executable for the original Motherlode.
Oh, nice.
So it's a good deal.
Yeah.
I haven't actually played it yet, but it has good reviews, so I imagine it's still good.
I might have to pick that up.
It looked good on the video that they had for it. I was like, cool. It has like a story. I don't know how much I'll care about it. I doubt it's super like important to the game because I mean the whole game was always just mine rock.
Yeah. I mean, rock and stone.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that with some of the Petscape guys here and there.
Yeah. Good game.
Yes, very good.
Speaking of Malachi, by the way, I was doing a farm run, and I'm in the farming guild.
You see him doing mahoganies.
Tree. Yeah, I see him doing mahoganies. I
make fun of him all the time. I'm like, yep, because he's. I finally punched into his brain that he can woodcut. Like, you can do woodcutting and you can still get untrimmed construction. I finally just broke down. I did the math, and I was like, look, man, you only need to cut like 4 million XP worth of mahoganies to get 99, assuming that you're using all of those planks in mahogany homes. You need 13 million XP to get to 99. I promise you, you're good, bro.
Yeah.
And he was finally... I got him to download the Banked XP plugin as well. And he was using it.
I got him to enable the woodcutting plugin for forestry events.
Yeah, no, I'm glad the forestry event shit was on there. It's nice to get notified when they happen.
Yeah, the only reason I noticed him is because I got the notification about the the
I
Rising Roots event.
love just walking around and getting notifications for forestry events. That shit's hilarious.
Yeah, I was just like, hello? What am I being notified about? I thought I got the pet for a second, and then I was like, oh, no. Forestry event. Cool.
It's super funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was saying something, but now I forget.
I
got him down Banked XP. And then he was looking at it, and he was like, oh, yeah, I don't understand. You say I need this many logs, but I'm only at, like, 91 construction banked. And I'm like, okay, I need you to click on the mahogany log, and then make it mahogany plank, and then click on the plank, and then change it from mahogany products to mahogany homes. And he just, like, went... Because his number probably changed from like a 91 to probably like 96 or 7 or something.
Yeah. I did this similar thing. I bought just like I took my cash stack and I just bought as many dragon bones as I could. Because it looks like they might be going back up in price. And I want to buy it while it's still really cheap for prayer. Mm-hmm. And so I bought them. I'm like, cool, that's like 97 prayer banked. And I was like, wait, hold on a moment. And I changed it from the POH to the Wildy altar. And I'm like, oh, cool, I have 101 prayer banked.
Yeah, I have...
So...
Wow, I actually have almost 90 prayer banked. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's sick.
A lot of it's actually in sold heads. There's a surprising amount that I have in sold heads right now.
Do you use the Soul Bearer, or do you just, like, pick them up?
I use the Soul Bearer on, like, Abbey Demon tasks and Bloodbelt tasks.
Okay, yeah.
I have, like, 135 Bloodbelt heads, 103 Abbey Demon heads. Sometimes I pick up, like, Cowfight heads on those tasks, if I can be asked. But, you know. I also have a lot of giant heads, because I have been trying to get a Bryophyta staff passively for a while.
Oh, for the Master Clue step?
Yeah. I've been stacking caskets because I will get that Bryophyta staff.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, I'm not in any rush to open caskets right now. So as soon as I finish that master, I can start opening them again. And if that's, like, months from now, I don't really care. There's nothing, like, account changing that I can particularly get reasonably from caskets right now.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, because you don't really need Ranger boots.
No. Like, I'm very close to 91 Slayer, but we'll see how much Serb I even do. I hate that boss so much.
It's not a good boss. I don't know why
sucks.
people like it.
Money is why people like it.
I guess. I don't know. The mechanics...
I don't think a lot of people even like it, though, I'm going to be honest.
Dude, people tell me they like it.
Every time I talk about it, people are like, oh, Serb, fuck. Same with Sire. People are like, oh, fuck.
Sire can actually suck my balls, dude. I hate that boss.
Yeah, I
think people are like, oh, the DPS check isn't that bad. No, it's annoying. You need,
it's just dumb.
At least decent gear. And even with good gear, if you just happen to noodle in the final phase, then you get teleported away, and then they all frickin' grow up into their freaking little scion, full selves, and they absolutely shred you. And it's like, oh, cool. I guess my Sea Halley or my claws or whatever I'm using at the time missed. Guess I'm just dead.
Yeah, I don't know. Just pray Gambit.
Glad that's prayer book's not coming out. Anyways, I'm gonna talk about my week now.
You do that.
Because you probably don't have anything else, right?
Yeah, that's about it. I spent $300 on a board game yesterday. I don't know.
Yo, let's go. Yeah. So, last week we were talking about like Elena from Song of the Elves.
Yeah.
And Jimmy dropped his Song of the Elves video.
I still haven't watched it.
And he talks to Elena throughout the whole thing.
As one does.
And made me realize just how terrible her dialogue is.
Yeah.
She, like...
That's what I was saying.
Your, like, character, like, simps for her the whole time. And it's really weird.
You can choose to simp for her, right?
Okay, true.
You get dialogue options, but all of them
I don't think I
suck.
did those dialogue options, but yeah, I was just like, what the fuck? This feels so out of place.
It's like I was saying, right? It's just trying to create character development for the sake of character development and nothing else.
Yeah, your character's just like, Elena, I care for you. And it's like, what?
Yeah, like, she never does anything. She never really helps. She literally mentions in the quest that she's like, yeah, it sucks that I can't really do much. And it's like...
Well, there's one part where you're, like, fighting the Artie Knights, and she just sits there and, like, face tanks them for you. Yeah. She just can't die. It's just like, cool. And she's just punching them.
She's probably just got, like 99 defense or something. I don't know.
Bring a fist to a sword fight.
Yeah, it's super weird.
Yeah.
Like I said last time, it just felt very shoehorned and weird.
Yeah. I got 99 smithing.
Number 2 smithing.
Yeah, I shit my pants.
Nice.
No, I didn't. So while I was doing editing, I realized I had said that I was going to do Runite bars to 99. Nope. Would not recommend. So the Runite bars to turn into Rune 2Hs, it's slightly more AFK than the Addy plate bodies. It's actually quite a bit more AFK. But it's not as AFK as Addy darts. And the nice thing about Addy is I can just swap between the two without, like, needing to worry about anything. But with Rune, you have to, like, keep preserve up the whole time, and you have to be drinking the Kovac grogs. And, there's no, like, I can't, like, sweat to, like, smith faster like I can with the Addy plate bodies. The Rune 2Hs are just a bit slower than the Addy plate bodies, and I think the plate bodies were just a better choice for me. So that's what I did to 99.
Epic. I sure will be not doing that.
Yeah, probably. You're better off doing Giant's Foundry, probably. Giant's Foundry is pretty good.
Yeah. I probably... Malika was asking me if I was going to, like, smith things into products and then do Giant's Foundry, and I was like, no. That's so much effort. I think that's
not efficient.
No, it's not.
I think it's more efficient just to take the raw bars.
It's technically, like, more resource efficient, but it is grossly not nearly as time efficient.
Yeah. You'd be better off just getting more ore.
Yeah.
And turning them into bars, and then turning the bars into Giant's Foundry.
Yeah, that is my understanding of it, is you'd be better off just going and getting more supplies than trying to squeeze that little bit more XP out of your supplies like that.
Mm-hmm. I haven't really been doing too much else this week. I'm doing agility now. I think I sent you a DM about this. I was like, okay, if I wanted to be, like, really lazy and, hate agility, if I were to do Prif course to 99, how many hours, if I were just to do, like, 1 hour of Prif a day, how long would that take me? Just a casual 140 days, I was like, well, I'm not doing that. So I'm gonna probably end up doing some Hollowed Sepulchre to 99. I don't know how much, but
hey, look at this crystal. Pretty cool, huh?
No, I want it. No, stop making it. No.
I literally sat there and waited for you to get at the end of the course.
That's fucked up. Every time your character goes to net it, by the way, it stops me from running towards it. It's fucked up. Yeah, I'll probably do some Hollowed Sepulchre to 99. I don't know how much. I think I'm gonna wait until I'm 92. I'm like halfway to 92.
That's the way to go.
Before I continue doing more, because, like,
I did floor 4 till I had all of the tools and stuff that you can buy from the shop, and then I was like, peace, see you. I'm not going back to 92. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, I don't have the tools yet, but, like, getting to floor 4 and just seeing you need 92 agility to go to the next floor is not very exciting.
I don't know. I just don't see that because I click on the fucking thing and just leave.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I have a lot of agility to do, so it's like half the EHP I have left to max is agility, so that's cool.
Epic.
Did some more raids. I apparently agreed to do a bunch of learners this weekend, so
nice.
I'm
sure that'll be great.
I did some raids with another podcaster and also a Twitch streamer named Boonbabe. I think we've talked about her a little bit on one of the episodes. I think with Michael.
Maybe. I don't remember.
That's fair. She does like 300 to 400 invo raids with viewers, and
nice.
I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll join. We did 2 raids. The first one, it was me and like a 1 defense pure doing a 370, which was interesting. We got a ring, which normally is free for all in the raids I do, but she splits rings, so I got like 2 mil from that. And then on the back-to-back, there was like 6 of us? 5 of us? I don't remember. But that one was a kind of a shit show, I'm not gonna lie.
Skill issue.
2 people had shadows, and then 1 person was main-handing a Karis.
Oh, that's jank.
And yeah.
Was it what color Karis was it?
Yellow, I want to say.
Like the default yellow or the yellow gem yellow?
I think it was default.
Nice. That goes hard.
Yeah.
At least mine's blue.
I was the only one that didn't die that raid. It was really scuffed.
So you got a shadow, right?
No, we got nothing on the back-to-back, and then I had to go to bed. But, during the raid, people are asking, like, to do learners. She's like, oh, you know, probably shouldn't do learners for, like, 370s. It's a little rough, and also I'm not a good teacher. I was like, oh, I could maybe do some learners. So now I'm apparently teaching someone from her stream on, like, Friday or Saturday. And then there's someone from TNL that I'm also teaching on this weekend, so.
Epic.
Doing all the learners. They're fun. I like learners, but.
Yeah. I've been thinking about going back, but
you should join us.
I wouldn't particularly define myself as burnt right now. It's not like I think of the game as like a chore. I'm not like, ugh, RuneScape, ugh. Mm-hmm. But there's just,
you just have other stuff you
I
want
just
to do.
bought so many games, and like, I've been doing some stuff in real life. I've just had other things to do, you know? I've been trying to do a little bit of skilling on the side, but there's a lot of exciting things for me to do right now. So RuneScape isn't on the top of the priority list because there's not really a lot of exciting new stuff going on in the game.
Yeah, I mean, so we have, they showed off like a, last month in June, like near the very end,
the
timeline. Yeah, the roadmap. And so we're getting Desert Treasure at the end of the month. And then next month, like nearish to the end, we're getting the Summer Summit.
Which
so
is
I imagine
exciting.
like, yeah, we're getting basically Desert Treasure and then nothing for probably the next 2 months.
Yeah, we'll probably see Forestry Part 2 in September, which will probably also be mildly disappointing because, man, listen, I'm glad they got the content out, but I really don't think that the split, like, releases are worth it. People are going to get bored of the content so fast because not all of it's there. Nice flax.
Thank you. I misclicked. I have my mouse on my lap right now.
Oh. Yeah, no, I don't know, man. The Forestry split really seems dumb to me. I'd rather the content release with all the events, all the items you can buy, all the collection log from the start.
I mean, yeah, that was the problem, though, with, like, not having a beta. There was just, like, so much that could have been resolved beforehand. And, like,
Yeah.
also, why was the beta, like, 1 week before release? Like, that's not enough time to iterate on the content.
Yeah, it feels like it was rushed out because we haven't gotten many big updates, and they also just canceled the prayer book, so that was probably, like, disappointing news. They were like, we want to give them something. But personally, for me, I don't really care. Like, I got other shit to do. If the game's not doing great, I'll just leave for a bit and come back. I buy yearly sub now, so, like, my sub's not going to expire. I'll just come back. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, I have, like, plenty of other shit that I'm doing that I don't really need new content right now. Like, I'm working on that max, you know?
Yeah.
If it's not earning GP or trying to max, then, you know, I'm not doing it. I mean, I'll do the new quest when it drops, and I'll probably kill the new bosses for a bit, because it's going to be insane money, like, week of release. I requested the day after release off, and I already have the day of release off, so...
Nice.
You know, I'll do Desert Treasure 2 and grind the bosses for a day. But, you know, like I've said on the last few podcasts, I'm very motivated right now to max, and I want to get this done by the end of the year. You know, I have not a lot of time to go. So,
hey, well, I think you beat Sneezy.
Probably, yeah.
He's just completely not playing the game. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't help that I got, you know, a big shitload of money, so I just bought my buyables for the most part. So, you know, he's an Iron Man, so it wasn't fair from the start.
Well,
he
I mean,
was
it was
absolutely gaming.
He was gaming, and he was also closer to max, I think, before you guys started.
He did start. So. He did start closer, but our EHP was like not too dissimilar from the start. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've done anything else really this week. You know, raids are fun. Maxing has been fun. Yeah, I don't think I've really done anything else.
I bet you played all kinds of Bounty Hunter.
Nope.
Super exciting content that we participate in all the time.
No, I've done a little bit of like Will the Altar, like Bones. I've been PK'd like twice.
Nice.
So that's cool. You just want to talk about like the forestry stuff? Then we can go to break and talk about the sailing?
Yeah, I guess we can do that.
Okay.
I'd first like to complain. These fucking bastards added the collection log after I got the log brace, and now I have to get another one.
Yeah, I don't
know why. I already complained about
like,
it. I'm complaining about it again.
Surely Jagex knew that we wanted collection log from the start.
Yeah, it just blows.
So why didn't it come out?
It makes no sense.
Until
they're like,
people
I don't remember which mod it was, but they were like, yeah, sorry, that was an oversight. And it's like, man,
how do you
I get it that like probably, you know, you guys don't have as much time to play the game because you're busy making the game. But I mean, come on, surely you guys know about the collection log. Come on, I know that it was more than one person developing Forestry. Surely someone on the team thought about it. Come on.
Yeah.
From my experience, Forestry's been fine. Yeah, it's good.
This morning, I was listening to XP Waste, and Oxy was talking about how, like, he thought that Forestry didn't do a good job of explaining how to do the events. And at first I was like, what are you talking about? The events are so easy. And then I was like, wait. Like, I am coming from the perspective of I've read all the blocks very thoroughly, and, like, we talked about Forestry several times.
I don't think that's necessarily true, though. The game gives you a lot of... If you never pay attention to the chat box, it's probably pretty hard.
Yeah, because he was like, oh, it just spawns a bunch of piles of shit next to you randomly? What's going on with that? And I was like, yeah, I guess if, like, you
can interact
didn't
with
read
the
blogs.
And it tells you what to do. I'm pretty sure.
That's true.
And
Maybe.
if you click on a thing, it puts a thing in your inventory. And I don't know if it has an examine or anything, but I'm sure they thought about this.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think...
Like, the Rising Roots feel like it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, Rising Roots
Click
is
roots,
easy.
get XP.
Yeah.
The sapling, I think, is a little more confusing if you don't pay attention to your chat box. I don't know. I haven't done the B event. I don't know if that would be confusing at all.
That one also is like mildly confusing. They announced some changes for it that I think will make it better. Right now, basically the way it works is it just spawns a bunch of bushes that look exactly the same near you. And you kind of just have to start clicking on them randomly until one of them gives you a pollen in your inventory. And then you need to click on more randomly until you find the other one that will take the pollen.
Gotcha.
And it isn't like you have to click one before the other. You need to click either of them and then the other one. So you can eliminate all of them before you start going. So I could kind of understand that one. That one seems a little confusing. It took me a second to figure it out. One of the things they're going to change about that one is instead of all the bushes looking exactly the same, they're going to make it so they all have a unique color. So, there'll be an orange one, a blue one, a green one,
That's a good way to
one.
do it.
So, and it'll also make it easier so that, like, if you got a bunch of people doing forestry, you can say, oh, it's orange and blue, guys. So then everybody will start running between orange and blue. And it was already kind of easy to tell because, like, if you were playing on a world with a bunch of people, you could just see which ones people were running between if you didn't have Entity Hider on. Even though when I played on the Mass Worlds, I just had Entity Hider on because there were so many people.
Yeah. I think that's the way to go, honestly.
The B event is fine. It's kind of annoying because you have to click a bunch because with the sapling event, right? You can click on one of the things that spawns on the ground and you immediately pick it up when you get there, and you can immediately click on something else as soon as your character starts doing the animation. With the B event, the interaction takes 2 ticks. You have to deposit the pollen that you received from the other flower, and then you will
can it be interrupted by you moving?
No, it cannot be interrupted by you moving.
Okay, that's good at least.
But it makes it so that unless you want to do like tick perfect clicks all the time, you just kind of have to spam click on the bushes.
It's not a good way to do it.
And it's annoying.
Yeah.
Because basically you're just spam clicking until your fucking character starts moving again after 2 ticks. And then you're spam clicking the other one. I started doing it where as soon as I saw the item get removed and then put back in my inventory, then I'd click on the next one. But not everybody's going to do that, right? People just want to like click on stuff. And because of that delay, it makes it a little more frustrating.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, it's whatever. The B event definitely needs better rewards. It doesn't give you that much bark. And the seeds it gives you were kind of cool.
Aren't they nerfing the B event?
I don't think so. I thought they said that they agreed that people they nerfed the tree event.
Oh, you're right. Struggling sapling got nerfed.
Its bark rate got nerfed, but its XP rate got buffed a little bit. Because if you use the correct mulch combination, you get more XP now. So there's more of an, I think it was like I was saying last time, there's more of an incentive to actually use the right XP combination instead of just using whatever happens to be right next to the sapling, since that's theoretically faster.
Yeah, I'm glad they made that change.
I don't know if it's really going to change anything. I haven't gone back to Mass Worlds. I probably never will. But there is more of an incentive to actually do the right thing now. So
yeah, that's good.
Rising Roots didn't really get changed, but I think it's fine. I think it's a nice baseline. It's got pretty decent XP. It's got great bark, and it's very simple. Leprechaun can still kind of go fuck off.
Yeah, they talked about the Leprechaun maybe in the future not preventing other randoms from spawning, and I think that's what they'd need to do for it to be worth even having.
He shouldn't prevent others from spawning while he exists, and he should also, in my opinion,
not count as a spawn.
He should be like a tertiary spawn, you know?
Yeah, I agree, because like it's kind of griefing if you have it. Like there's like some places where it's beneficial to have him, but
yeah,
like
I was doing like I said, I've been doing the mahogany trees in Prif, and there was some guy cutting with me that had it, And I was like, okay, this is like theoretically kind of helpful, but he can't deposit my planks, so it's only like a little helpful.
Yeah. And it's really the only people that want to use it are like snowflakes, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I know, Try Too Hard for You, the desert only, he was, you know, wanting to do forestry, and he wanted people that had the leprechaun, because he was often someplace chopping, I think like teaks or something.
Yeah, I think at Uzer, or wherever the new teak tricks are. I think there's another spawn of them now.
And they're in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah,
so
they're in fuck you land.
Yeah.
So I think it should be like a tertiary spawn. It should just also roll independently of the other events if you have one. I think that'd be fine.
Yeah. I think so. They also talked about I don't know if it was in this blog or if I think it was in the previous Forestry Part 1. I think they had like a feedback section somewhere.
There's a feedback section. You're gonna talk about the bag, the sack, the backpack.
Oh yeah,
sack.
Yeah. So they talked about having a button on the bake interface that'll like pull items out of like your log basket or your fish barrel or maybe looting bag too.
Anything.
I don't know.
The looting bag already has one for the deposit box.
Yeah.
For specifically the deposit box interface. And theoretically, you know, right now I think it's only the fish barrel and the log backpack that would benefit from this. But let's not kid ourselves. They'll probably add more of these in the future. So I think it should happen. I should be able to deposit these from... Because right now it's a downgrade. It's awful. This shit is terrible.
What I don't get is why this needs to be pulled.
Yeah, it shouldn't be pulled. I don't understand. It should
just be added.
It's part of the polling charter that they aren't gonna pull like needless QOL things like that, and this feels like one of those. It's needless QOL that everybody's just gonna say, yeah, I want to be able to deposit my logs on my back instead of having to take it off, use it on a banker, withdraw maximum 27 logs. So I'll still have to do that twice because you have to use it on a banker, and then it puts the logs in your fucking inventory. Then you have to open the bank interface, put those logs in the bank, close the bank interface, use the fucking backpack on the banker again, get that last amount of logs out, go to your bank again, put it in there, and then you're done. And then you can put it back on your back if you want. I don't put it on my back. I don't even bother. I just keep it in my inventory.
Yeah, I had sent you a message like, hey, maybe we could talk about like EasyScape, and this is like what prompted that discussion. Because I feel like the reason they're pulling this is they're afraid people are going to bitch and moan about EasyScape with this.
Nobody wants to be good at menuing.
It's just not fun.
No,
like
that's why they made Mahogany Homes, is because construction was being good at menuing.
Yeah. Like, I feel like there's a contingency of players that just like,
It's why runecrafting sucks. Because the only interaction is menuing.
Yeah.
That's why Guardians of the Rift exists.
I mean, but Guardians of the Rift is still menuing, you know?
Not really.
With your rune pouches, though.
That's fine, in my
Unless
opinion.
you're talking about, like, bank interface
I'm talking about bank interface stuff, refilling them all the time. Oh,
gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, menuing to me is opening your bank or opening a dialogue window or something like that.
Gotcha.
That's menuing.
Yeah, there's a group of players that like really enjoy that kind of stuff.
And speaking of, man, when I was complaining about the log basket backpack, when you use it on the banker, it opens a menu and asks you if you're sure you want to do that.
Bro.
Fucking of course I do.
Yeah, why else would you have done it, you know?
God.
It sounds worse than the interface for the
it is!
Cother. The coffin.
I've used the coffin. It absolutely is.
Yeah, the coffin's terrible.
It sucks. But this is worse. And I don't know how they managed it.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know what we're talking about the coffins you can get from Shades of Morton that hold shades.
Rings. you
got a
have
really
to
wacky
click.
interface.
Yeah, there's an interface. You have to click to open, and then you click to empty it, and then you have to pick specifically which shades you want to empty.
Which
You
doesn't
can't
make
just
any sense, because most of the time you're only going to have one type of shade in there. And it shows you all the different types of shades, regardless of what kind of shades you have in there. And then if you try and empty shades that you don't even have, it's like, oh, you don't have any of those. And it closes the interface entirely.
Yeah, there should just be a right-click empty, and it just empties them all. I mean,
it
I
just
sound
empties
like a
whatever I
I've
have.
talked about this before,
fucking
but
first in, last out. I don't care. Last in, first out. Who gives a shit? Just empty them into my goddamn inventory. Because most of the time, I'm going to be using the same type of shade remains all in one.
I mean, if they have to make it so like you can only hold one type of shades, sure, I don't care.
Yeah, do it.
Like Iron Men don't care.
If Ultimate Iron Men care, I don't care. In fact, if Ultimate Iron Men are mad about it, do it more. I don't know. Listen, man. The Ultimate Iron Man controversy about oh well, they were, if they had known that the logs, they needed more logs to buy shit from the shop, then they would have. No, they wouldn't have. They would have still voted no on noting logs. Don't kid yourself. Yeah. They're just complaining about it now because they have grounds to complain about it.
Well,
because people just love to complain. And you're playing the shittiest game mode in the game. I'm sorry. You picked the worst game mode. You picked the game mode that is frustrating. A
log basket thing next to the Forester.
You know how the hot air balloon system works, where there's the little thing, the little shack you can put logs in. They put one of those next to them. That you can only deposit into. You can't withdraw from.
Is it already a thing, or?
I don't think so. I think it's being added.
Okay. Someone in Petscape was joking, I can't wait for the first Ultimate Iron Man to accidentally deposit 15,000 magic logs.
Accidentally deposit their entire fucking stack of logs.
Oh, it's gonna happen, awesome. And it's gonna be so funny.
It's just like how we were talking about the accidentally teleporting out of bosses with the escape crystal. That happened.
Oh, yeah, I was watching the farmers do their first TOA, and I think it was Foe. They were in the middle of one of the bosses, and he just accidentally teleports out.
Yep, average.
And also they were doing, they're in the lobby, and I think it was Roydy. He learned that he can just click on his teammates while they're in the lobby to send them back to Lumbee.
Yep, that's awesome.
It's so funny. But yeah, no, there's a good amount of accidental teleports happening. But also I saw a clip of a duo doing TOA. One of them DCs and the other tries to use the escape crystal on him. It registers that he clicked the escape crystal, but he just force logs anyways and loses his hardcore status.
Average.
Just what? People complained about TOA logging out being a death the first week it came out. I don't know why it's still a death. People are going to be like, oh, it's because Tob mode.
That's what it is. You're going to die to something really dumb, or you're going to die to a disconnect.
True. But, why does the disconnect kill you?
It's dumb.
You can just teleport out of Toa. Sure, maybe it makes sense in Tob. I don't think so. I'm going to argue,
I mean, once again, I get it. You can't tele out of Tob, even though you can now.
Yeah, with the crystal.
But, especially if he has one in his inventory, right? If it force logs him, maybe there should be, a check, oh, did he have a crystal in his inventory? Cool, he did. Yeah, so it doesn't count as a death.
Yeah, the problem is, with Red X Baba and Butterfly Akka, the person that's not butterflying or Red Xing is not considered in combat. So the moment they DC, they insta-log. And there's no chance for the escape crystal to save them. Which is just so fucking dumb.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of problems with the system. We talked pretty in depth about how
reason
it's
number
kind of
800 why I won't play a hardcore.
Yeah. it's a Band-Aid fix for the servers being janky, and there's no fix for that, right? Your servers could be spot on 24/7. You know, you've done everything possible that you can to make them as much uptime as possible, and something completely out of their control can just knock their servers down.
Yeah.
It's
Or if your
impossible to
power
manage.
cuts out or something, you know, regardless of whose end it's on,
Something can happen.
Disconnects will happen.
Yeah.
And if the system is you disconnect, you die, you know,
You're gonna
even if
die.
you have
It's
the
over, man.
item
It's gonna
that's
happen.
meant to save you, you know. I just don't think that should be how it works.
Yeah.
At
At the end of the day, skill issue, El Bozo. I don't care. I don't play hardcore. I never will.
Yeah.
But it sucks. Because some people like to play the game that way.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's an achievement if you, you know, get raid items or wilderness items on a hardcore. Like,
it's cool.
I'll still be impressed by it, but, you know, I don't want to play the game that way because,
it's setting yourself up for failure.
Inevitably you DC somewhere or you just get stacked out in a way that feels unfair, and I don't think it's very satisfying.
The game is, at the end of the day, RNG game, right? Both in favor of you and in favor of the enemies from time to time. And you're probably... I mean, even if the mistake is entirely your fault when you die, it's never going to feel good. And it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
And with the type of game that RuneScape is, I just don't think that playing hardcore is fun. It's a very long-term game. It's not like, you know, a roguelike type thing where it's like, oh, I'll just play my character till it dies, and when it does, whatever, I had fun. This game, it's like, oh, my character died.
The difference
and you
with
sit
a
there
roguelike
face-palming for like 20 minutes because of all the time you just wasted.
Yeah, a roguelike, you go through a run in like an hour, tops, you know. This game, I'm 5,000 hours in.
Yeah.
And I'm nowhere near max.
I don't know. It to me just feels like a flawed way to play the game, and that's why I don't want to play it that way.
Yeah.
But, you know, like I said, other people do, so cool. But
yeah,
once again, it kind of falls into that category of catering updates to a specific niche audience, and like the whole stigma against like, oh, we don't want Iron Man updates. Well, you kind of are giving Iron Man up. You're giving hardcore Iron Man.
I mean,
updates.
I'm fine with Iron Man updates, but like when it's catering to like a small niche of the Iron Man community, you know, I feel less sympathetic about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because like, how many players play hardcore? How many players play Ultimate Iron Man? Like, I know regular Iron Man make up a good chunk of the player base.
It's a decent
like,
amount.
Like 40% or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't know the numbers off the top of my head,
but like, you know, how much of that is UIMs and Ultimates?
Probably not very much. I know the UIM scene is very small.
Yeah.
But
was there anything else in the Forestry blog for us to go over? I think that's about it.
I mean, yeah, not really. Change the backpack, make it better. Balance updates. Yeah. You know, there's more worlds now. There's 3 new Forestry worlds, and 2 new group skilling worlds. Sure, okay.
Yeah, that's good. I think there's a free-to-play Forestry world now, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. They needed it. Well, with that, I think we should head off to break.
Dude, hold on. The wise old man and friends will now check your inventory for free space before handing out rewards. This is a huge change.
What does that even mean?
I don't know. It's probably, you know, the Piscatoris Fishing Colony quest or Weiss quest or something, where they like give you stuff and now it won't drop on the ground. I don't know.
I swear to God, if you do the quest making friends with my arm, and you get all that burnt meat, and it's like, oh, you have enough inventory for the 28 burnt meat, I'm going to lose my shit.
That would be so fucking funny, though. Holy shit. You have to empty your inventory to continue the quest or complete the quest. God
to get the fucking burnt meat.
That would be so funny. Ultimate Iron Man beware. You have to drop your entire inventory. That'd be such a fuck you to anyone using a looting bag. That'd be so funny.
True. Anyways, this week's update was brought to you by the Freaky Forester. He's a little freak. Give him your log.
This week's episode was also brought to you... It was not brought to you by, but I'm going to say it was brought to you by Spirit Island. It's a pretty cool board game. I think I talked about it last week. I don't remember. But it's a good game.
I don't think you did.
I don't remember. It's fun.
I just edited that episode. You'd think I'd know.
Yeah, who knows? I have no idea. It's a good board game. Look it up. It costs money. It's one of those nerd shit board games that has a bunch of rules, but it's really fun. And it wasn't actually It's not actually a sponsor, but
if you want to sponsor us, though,
I'm down. Let's go.
Email's in the description.
Anyways,
think
break time.
Something. I don't know.
Break time.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back, guys, to the Guthix podcast. What is poppin'?
Oh no, we're hitting them with the gamer intro again.
I know, whenever you put that little bit of extra enthusiasm into the welcome back, that's what I always think of. It's just a, what is up, guys?
What is up, guys? It's your boy, Stinky Penis. So, we got forestry stuff. Or not forestry, fuck.
We got sailing We did stuff. Talk about forestry. We did do that.
We got sailing.
Yes, sir.
The opposite of the forest. The sea.
I don't know if it's the opposite necessarily, but they're definitely not the same.
How many trees do you see in the ocean?
I mean, if you look down in the
Checkmate.
ocean, those big seaweed towers, those could be trees.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Those could be trees.
I'm looking at the forestry blog, right? Or not. God, I keep saying... I'm looking at the sailing blog, and on the last picture of the, TLDR picture that they made, that General Tractor did, there's, the crew, and it's a bunch of NPCs, and then a, faded version of Neve, and it just says, not you. That's fucked up, man.
It's fucking funny.
There's a crab saying, rip my queen.
That is hell.
Anyways, sailing. You read the blog thoroughly. I watched the video.
Sir. I woke up at 6 a.m. on the Tuesday that this released because I was going to the lake house. And I didn't actually intend to wake up at 6 a.m. My intention was to wake up at 8. But I just woke up at 6 a.m. and I was just like, guess I'm awake now.
Cool.
And then I got on my phone and I was like, there's the new sailing blog. And then I read it.
Neat.
Like I said while we were not recording, it's cool. I have no particularly strong opinions about it because it is exactly what it says. It is the sailing reward space overview. It is not here are the exact items that we are going to put in the game because it's not time for that yet,
I feel like this gives a better idea of the gameplay loop than the gameplay loop blog gave. I'm gonna be honest.
I think it is an equal part importance to the gameplay loop part, right? Because they could just give these and be for example, one of the rewards they outlined was the special sail you can get. And they're you can get it from Mako's Trials, or whatever the fuck they're calling ship racing now. And it's if you didn't have the gameplay one, you'd be like, huh? So.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think you're probably right, but it is better as, in tandem with the gameplay loop one already existing. But yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of stuff that they outlined. They outlined kind of, I think the reason that it is better at describing the gameplay loop is because it describes the progression, right? It describes how you will actually progress through the skill, and the ways you can progress other skills with the skill, because, you progress things by unlocking items, which are rewards. um, so they talk a bit about ship customization. They specifically talk about cannons, and obviously there's going to be other, facilities other than just cannons, but they talk about cannons specifically, and they give an example of like, okay, so, you'll start, they give level requirements for all of them, but I'm not going to list them out. You'll start with like, your basic cannon, and it deals range damage. Then you get a stronger one. But then you can also get an arcane one that is in like the same category as the strong one. And then you can also get a dragonfire one, which I think is a cool idea. I like that, you'll have like different attack styles with your cannons. It's kind of neat.
I wonder if like you can swap it out in the middle of a fight, or if it's going to be like you have to like preempt bring the dragonfire cannon if you're dealing something that needs to do dragonfire.
Yeah, I think it'll be the cannon type itself does that kind of damage. And then maybe we'll see something like you can put different ammo in it, kind of like how you can poison ammo, even though nobody ever fucking does that because it's terrible.
It seems like you're going to get like bronze through dragon cannonballs. Yeah. And that's going to be... I don't think they've talked about like other kinds of cannonballs.
Not yet, no. But
other than like
that's just my own theoretical, right?
Yeah, I mean, this isn't set in stone. It could be that way for sure.
Yeah, but I do think that once you put a regular cannon, an arcane cannon, or a dragonfire cannon on your ship, that is just what it is, and you'll need to change that back at a port. I don't think you'll be able to change them on the fly. But if you can, that could be kind of cool as well. But the way I've read it over, it sounds like
no tri-brid ship fights.
And from what I mean, you can literally just have all three of them on there if you want. But I don't know. It's cool. And then obviously, they have higher tiers of each cannon as you get higher leveled, etc., etc. And they proceed to talk about the crew. This has, in my discussions with some people, this has been something of, not a point of contention, but just kind of it's been a discussion point. Because they talk about, you can have the crew exists, and they mention like, we could have different levels of complexity here, right? You could have your crewmates are able to do stuff, and they do stuff on their own. Or you can have different crewmates that are all good at particular things. Or you can have your crewmates have stats and can level them up and are essentially a mini game in and of themselves. And that's they did a survey at the end of this blog, and that's one of the questions that they specifically ask is like, what kind of complexity on crewmates do you want?
And I'll have to fill out that blog after we're done recording.
Yes, it's not a lot of questions. It's very short. For me, I like the certain crew members are better at doing certain things, but that's it. Like, they're always, you find this guy out in the world and you know that he's good at those things. So, like, theoretically, a meta could develop where people are like, oh, you want to get this guy, and this guy, and have them on this, and this station. I don't want leveling up crewmates. That sounds like way too it's far too complex.
Yeah, I'd rather have it be kind of like the butlers, where there's just like different tiers.
Yeah.
And, maybe you can have like, specific NPCs for each facility, but I wouldn't want like, you get Steve as a crewmate and he has to level up and like he gets better as he goes. Like, nah, I'd rather have like, you get Billy Bob, and Billy Bob is your level 1 through 10 NPC, and then you can go to Joe, who's your 11 through 25, and so on and so forth.
And I wouldn't mind if at X level you unlock the ability to be able to hire these 3 people, and each of them is good at a particular thing, because there's a lot of things going on the ship, right? So you can have them each man a particular station. But even if we don't get that much complexity, like, I don't really mind. But I don't want to have to micromanage my crew. I feel like that's where we start to get into like mini game territories of complexity.
Yeah, I don't want that. Like, I feel like the crew is there to make it so you can just enjoy sailing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the micromanaging is what you do at low levels, and once you get out of that low level territory, you can stop micromanaging and you can, like, you know, engage with the more interesting mechanics.
Yeah. Go to islands, do things, fight sea bosses, do sea skilling methods, etc. They talk briefly about construction, crafting, and smithing, how you'll be able to, you know, use smithing to make cannon barrels and new kinds of cannonballs, or you'll be able to use construction to be able to build things on your ship rather than employ people to do it for you. Or you'll be able to use, like, crafting to make your own sails, etc. So you'll be able to make parts of your ship on your own, or you can just pay to have it done for you. Or if you're a main, you can buy it off the GE, whatever.
Mm-hmm. It would be kind of like flat packs, I guess.
Yeah, where you can just
construction.
You can just put it on as long as you have the required level to use it. In this case,
Gotcha.
But you don't get any XP from, like, creating it, or maybe you get XP for attaching it. I don't know. You probably don't, but you would be able to gain the functionality of it without having to create it yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. I like the integration of other skills. I worry if you integrate too many skills into the requirements for sailing, though, then it ends up feeling like a minigame. Like, if you have to have construction, you have to have smithing, you have to have crafting, and, like, if they keep adding on skills that you need, then it stops feeling like its own skill, and it feels like a minigame, you know?
That's a valid concern, but I think that they are being very careful about making it so you don't need the skills, right? They're a supplement that allow you to do things yourself if you'd rather, but I think even if you're on Iron, kind of the way they're talking about it right now, is you can just pay money to an NPC at a port to get these things. Or you can make it yourself.
Okay. I think that's good.
Right, it's integration of it that isn't necessary. So it isn't like you need to go train all these skills so you can do sailing. No, but you could. Your skills have benefit in sailing, but they are not required.
Yeah. And I still do want sailing to integrate with the other skills, because I think that's necessary to make it feel like a skill, but I think there's a balance they need to make with that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I agree. I think so far they seem to have a decent grasp on the balance that they need to strike. Then they go to talk about port logic, which is basically like, you know, if your ship... This reminds me, I had said I'd been playing some Tears of the Kingdom, and this also extends to Breath of the Wild. You can go to any stable in the game, and you can just, like, ask for a horse, even if you left it in the middle of nowhere, and they'll just get it for you. Mm-hmm. This is kind of what they're talking about. Yeah, I mean,
there's some gameplay mechanics that you kind of have to just forgo realism to make it fun to play.
They actually talk about some interesting stuff here. They talk about that, right? Like,
yeah, the video had some interesting solutions.
They talk about, like, you know, what happens if your ship is lost at sea? Is it lost forever? What if it's at a different port, but you're trying to sail from this port? You know, they say, in quote, "We're in favor of solving logical problems like this in ways that feel natural and well integrated with the game world. We intend to go greater into detail for the lore in the lore and integration blog, but we feel like the road space is also a good place to provide solutions." Then they talk about the ship in a bottle idea. I love this idea.
Yeah, this is a great idea.
They say verbatim, for example, a popular player suggestion is to utilize the magic skill to create a ship in a bottle, which would let you shrink your ship and store it in your inventory. Players with the required magic level can utilize a spell scroll or pay an NPC at a port to do it. So this once again extends to the, okay, well, now you need magic. Well, no, actually, you can just pay someone to do it for you if you don't have the magic level for it.
Yeah.
And then I agree with them when they continue to say, this also opens up a ton of new gameplay opportunities. You could sell your ships in a bottle to shops or to other players, find one in a monster's loot hoard, or even pickpocket one from an NPC. Like, the idea of stealing an entire boat from someone is hilarious.
Yeah, I
love it.
I mean, that sounds like some, like, RPG, like unintended mechanic shit that sounds hilarious, like Skyrim pickpocketing an NPC's heart and killing them. Like, you know, just pickpocket their ship. That's fucking hilarious. I love that idea.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's a great idea.
Yeah, and they go on to talk about, like, you could also potentially teleport to ship or teleport your ship to you. And I like both those ideas, too.
Yeah, I think
having all three would be a fine option.
I was discussing this with a couple of the guys in Spaghetti, because being able to teleport to your ship theoretically has some potential problems.
I think that's fine.
I think it's fine. It has some potential problems. I'm not sure how I feel about it, because you could just park your ship somewhere like super optimal and then just like teleport to it all the time.
Yeah, it's like putting your house somewhere.
Yeah, but you can put your ship literally anywhere, right? And theoretically, you can only interact with stuff on docks. But you could just park your ship at a skilling node that is in the ocean.
Well, my assumption is you would only be able to teleport to your ship if your ship is at a dock.
That's fair. I'm fine with that. If that's the limitation...
That was my assumption.
If that's the limitation, I'm good with that. Yeah, that's totally fine.
You know, that would open a lot of, you know, potential places to go.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. That's more along the lines of POH. I didn't know that you were coming at it from, you know, only being able to teleport on dock. Because now, you essentially have, instead of having to move your POH to get POH teleports in a certain spot, you can have dock teleports by just moving your ship to a certain dock. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with that.
Like you know, you now have a teleport to Yatizo or to Miscellanea or to Etcetera or something.
These are all places
your ship
that
is
teleports.
Okay, true.
But I see where you're going. Like, you know, you could teleport to Piscarillius a little bit easier because nobody likes charging the fucking reminiscing book. You could teleport to that dock, maybe. Let's open the world map here. I know there's some places that I was like, oh, that's kind of convenient that you could theoretically teleport to. Like you could teleport to the Zulrah dock, maybe. Maybe that would be like a meta
or the
for
docks
people.
in Gwyneth.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe,
you know, a bit closer for the clues.
Maybe you can teleport to, I don't know. Maybe you can just teleport to the ruins of Unka finally.
Or go to Land's End.
Yeah, just pull up, you know? And of course, they said they'll add a bunch of docks, and there'll be docks on all the islands and the oceans and stuff, so definitely opens up a lot of opportunity. I was thinking of it from the perspective of you could just teleport to your ship whenever, and I was like...
my assumption is if you, for some reason, leave your ship at sea, your ship is considered lost, and you'd have to either pay an NPC to retrieve it, or...
have the ability to teleport it to you.
Yeah.
Which I imagine would be... I imagine that wouldn't be just like a spell on your spell book. I imagine that would be something you'd have to like go through a process of doing.
Possibly. Yeah.
Because that seems... If you're using it as a retrieval service, it seems perhaps a little too easy to just have it on the spell book, you know? But it also seems convenient.
From like the perspective of the canon, where you can just talk to an NPC and you get your canon back.
That's fair. That's always seemed weird to me,
It would be a pain in the ass is if you're doing sailing and you happen to log out, you know, do you go back to your ship or are you just like put at the nearest dock? Or if you're, you know, if you teleport away from your ship, do you now, you know, because you accidentally teleported, do you have to go through some fucking lengthy process to get your ship back?
Yeah, this is also important to talk about, because, like, what if I'm on my ship, right? And I got some boys on my ship, like real players on my ship. And what if I just log out? What happens?
Yeah. Does it... It has to work like a POH. I think that's the only way it could work, right? It would be like, oh, they log out, so you guys get kicked out. And it would just send them to, like, the nearest bit of land, I assume?
Maybe,
like the last dock they went to?
It's not like a super important detail, but I am curious to see how it would work. That was when I took the survey. They're like, I think there was a question that was like, we're going to do a Q&A. Do you have any questions you'd want answered on the Q&A? And I was like, yeah, how exactly does Iron players interacting with mains work here? Do we have any ideas on that? Is it like going to be like POH? Are Irons not allowed on
Have
main
they done
ships.
this Q&A yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think this is a Friday.
I hope
think
that's
it's a
something they
tomorrow
answer.
Because I want to know, like, is it going to be like, you know, how POHs work right now, where mains can go to iron houses, but irons can't go to anybody else's house other than their own? Or is it going to be more like the new, like, Wildy Bosses type thing, where you can interact with other players, but you receive your own, you know, rewards?
Yeah.
Remains to be seen. I'd love to see it more like the newer bosses, where, you know, maybe I can't interact with certain parts of people's ships because I'm an iron, but I can still, like, show up, chill, and do my own thing, and get my own rewards. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I like the move that Jagex seems to be taking with PVM content of allowing irons to actually, like, play the MMO as an MMO. I can see why people don't like it, but
they're just wrong.
Yeah, they're just wrong.
And I like, even in a lot of other MMOs where people play solo, air quotes, right? Like, they usually interact with other players a lot of the time because they're not playing like a game mode that specifically restricts them like Iron Man does.
Yeah.
But you still end up interacting with other players and, you know, doing stuff despite being, you know, generally a solo player, because at the end of the day, we're playing a goddamn MMO, man. It's a massively multiplayer online game.
Yeah. Speaking of MMO, the cooperative play section.
Yes. I don't really remember what this says, I'm gonna be honest.
I kind of remember from the video portion. They talked about, like, there, you know, potentially we have new jewelry for, like, teleports and, like, new islands that you might want to go to for, like, Slayer or whatever.
This is not what the cooperative play section says at all.
I
guess it does a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why it talks about that in the cooperative play part.
Well, it talks about it because, like, you know, they're talking about, like, being able to hitch rides on other people's boats to go places, or to, like, use other players' jewelry, like you can in a POH. So, like, they're discussing, like, you know, how much do we want to let players use other people's facilities to, like, not skip, but, like, not have to do certain content themselves to be able to access other content.
Yeah, this is the section where I would have expected to have seen a mention of what I was talking about just now. Yeah, but there wasn't one, so that's why I was like,
there is.
I don't want, like, specifics, but I just want to know if you guys have any ideas how you're expecting that to work.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you know, we're still at, like, concepting stages, so if it changes, whatever, I don't care, but I just want to know what their idea right now about that is. But now we can get into kind of the meaty part, which is the new resources that they are talking about. This is kind of fun and interesting.
Yeah.
They got some pictures here that show, like, you know, some concept art of some new logs, metals, gems, herbs, fish, all kinds of stuff. The picture specifically shows off, I can't even read these, Agate, garnet, aquamarine, and then some haddocks, blue tangs, sunfish, and some hemp, some cotton, some cobalt, some lead, some umbral, pillar, and elkhorn corals, and then some larch, cedar, and rosewood trees. All kinds of fun new materials. And they come at these materials from not like a, hey guys, we're going to introduce the new 2-tick teak method. Now you're going to 2-tick cedars. No, they're looking to introduce these materials as more of a profitability area, which to me does not immediately seem interesting. But if you think of profitability less as, oh, you're going to take these logs and just sell them on the GE, and more as the reason that these will be valuable is because they can be turned into useful things, that is, I think, what they mean by profitability.
Yeah, I imagine they won't give, like, for the woods, right? You just woodcut them on the new islands. Mm-hmm. But I imagine they're not going to be great XP, but, like, you know, they're going to be used.
They're useful somewhere.
Like, they're used for making the sailing stuff. And so if you're doing sailing, you want, like, the rosewood.
And maybe we get some new POH cosmetics with the new wood types. It's like how
That'd be
redwoods literally can like only be used to build the redwood fence in the POH.
Yeah, redwoods. I feel like they should do something by now with them, because like right now it's like, okay, you make redwood shields or you burn it.
Yeah, and like the introduction,
birdhouses.
Yeah, birdhouses is a good one, and then the introduction of them being used for pyre logs was like kind of nice for the Urium shades. That was another use, but that's kind of niche as well. So
yeah, you're not going through a lot of them.
Yeah. So I hope that that's kind of the thing I'm worried about with all these new resources, right? Is I'm worried they're going to introduce these without like a ton of use, or like use specifically in sailing, and it's like, okay, cool, but like, surely it's going to be
something like, you know, you need like 200 rosewood logs or something.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or 350, or you know, whatever amount they decide on.
Yeah, and then
So
there's a table down here where they kind of talk about it, right? You know, they have the larch cedar and rosewood, and then, you know, they say that they're all tradable. They give them rarities, and then their use is to upgrade hull and mast and build facilities. It's like, okay, well, right now they're only used in sailing, but I'm sure they'll probably think of some other ways that they can be used outside of that. I'm sure you'll be able to fletch them into arrow shafts.
Yeah.
And then they talk about, like, you know, this is how you get them, you know, the larchwood from Barracuda trials and the level port tasks. I'm sure probably also wood cutting, but it doesn't mention wood cutting. Cedar, it says, like, you know, wood cutting on islands and mid-level port tasks, and then wood cutting on islands and Barracuda trials high level for the rosewood. So, you know, you can get them similarly as you get, you know, logs in the main game right now. You can get them from skilling, but you can also get them from activities as a drop. And then it goes on to do the same thing with the hemp and the cotton, which will be used in, you know, crafting for upgrading sails and changing cosmetics. And then there's the lead and the cobalt, which will be used for, like, building facilities like cannons and dredge nets and, you know, maybe anchors. Who knows? That one's for me. They didn't say anchors, but, you know, an anchor's a part of a ship. I mean,
surely the anchor just comes with the ship.
I mean, yeah, but maybe you can make a better anchor that does something. I don't know.
What would a better anchor do?
I don't know, man.
Heavier?
Maybe when you're anchored, it creates a magical shield around you. I don't fucking know.
Wow. Maybe.
Maybe that'll be useful. Who knows? Maybe you create an anchor that you can use as a weapon. And your anchor shoots
what a novel
out
idea.
At something. I don't mean hold it. I mean as a ship weapon.
Okay, like a chain gun.
Yeah.
Or not chain gun. Well, a gun that shoots
thing.
a chain, but, you know, it's an anchor instead of whatever's on the end.
That'd be fucking funny.
Yeah, the next bit they talk about, like, the gems, the fish, and the coral. Yeah, they're adding, so agate, garnet, aquamarine. They are 3 new gems, and you get them in 3 different ways. Agate from mineral dredging, garnet from sea monster hunting, and aquamarine from bossing. And their uses are going to be for new jewelry.
All right.
I don't know how much more space we have for more jewelry.
Boys, we got some space. All right. I got a spot, right? I want these to be kind of a rare one. I don't know if it's going to be like the aquamarine high level one. But I want Ring of Suffering-esque jewelry, right? So these are kind of rare and kind of valuable because they can store infinite of, you know, the amulets of chemistry, right? You can store it.
Okay, yeah.
The amulet slot can be the amulets of chemistry. The necklace slot can be the dodgy necklaces. The bracelet slot can be, I don't know, maybe the Flamtier bracelets or Abyssal bracelets or something.
No. Bracelet Slaughter and Expeditious bracelets. No?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but didn't they already say that they want to give those from Slayer? I think they talked about that in Game Jams. They wanted to add one of those, but maybe as a reward from Slayer. So that's why
an eternal gem-esque drop.
Yeah, I'd kind of maybe I don't know. Maybe it'd be a reward point thing. I don't know. It was in the Game Jam. It was something that they were talking about when they were talking about like Slayer update expansion. It was high level concept.
Gotcha.
But I'd be fine with it coming from sailing, right? But I think it would be more interesting if these ones were like specifically skilling based, right? So maybe I don't know what the ring one would be. Maybe
I was
maybe
gonna
they
say,
can
you gotta
buff
lay the ring on
maybe they
us.
can buff the Ring of Pursuit. And
Oh, that's the hunter one.
maybe they could make hunter more useful, because that's something else. That's something else I mentioned when I did the survey. I want hunter a little bit. There needs to be some hunter on these islands. We've been talking about a lot of skills.
Yeah.
Let's talk about hunter a little bit.
I mean, I've said on the podcast before, I'm on record saying, like, I don't understand why hunter isn't a way for us to get food.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense.
It's only fish.
We should see some more hunter creatures on these islands, and they don't all have to be like herbivore style hunter creatures. We could have some new cool stuff, but obviously that shouldn't be like the focus. Maybe that comes later down the line.
Yeah,
but I
Give
would
me,
like
like
to see
chin
some
style hunting, but it gives me a food instead.
And then, like I said, maybe they could buff the Ring of Pursuit and then make it so that the ring slot is a better one of those. Worst case, it's just like
Maybe.
one.
Let's look at the rings in game.
I already did.
Is there just nothing?
Ring of Forging is like the only other skilling related one that has charges.
What's the Ring of Returning?
That one takes you to your
Goes
respawn
back
point.
to your spawn. That's pretty useless.
It was really helpful
in
the league where I had unlimited jewelry teleports.
Better Ring of Wealth, maybe? I don't know what you'd do.
We already tried that in the boss slayer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Could be an option still.
Yeah. But that's what I'd like to see. I'd like to see them create, Ring of Suffering style rare pieces of jewelry for skill.
For the aquamarine, that's an option because those are going to be,
somewhat rare.
Rare
Zenite
drops.
type rare-ish.
But what are you going to do for the garnets and agates? Like,
maybe we find some, and maybe, maybe we make a new ring, right, that has some new useful skilling effect, and a new bracelet that has some new useful skilling effect, and those become the aquamarine ones. Because right now the skilling effects from rings and bracelets is kind of mid. So maybe that's a design space. And then they also have the ability to create problems that these can be the solution to, which...
That's true.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's going to be, like, a bracelet of sailing or something, and it's like, oh, you negate the waves or something. I don't know. Speaking of too much fish that we eat in game,
let's add more
haddock,
fish.
blue tang, and sunfish. Yeah,
I want to see. I like that I don't think I remember where they mentioned it specifically, but they do talk about how they don't want to just add fish that heal you more. They want to add fish that have more unique effects. So something to the effect of anglers, where anglers do a specific thing. Their specific thing is pretty basic.
They overheal
but, they'll do special things rather than just heal you, and that'll make them unique and not just another type of fish.
I mean, so I
still think monkfish should give you
and
prayer.
Also, well, okay, I'm gonna burst your bubble and also Jagex's bubble here. We already have that.
Yes, correct.
It's called barbarian mixes.
Yes, but they suck, and they're terrible.
So, like, no one's bringing a barbarian mix restore.
Yeah, that's because they suck. What if you could heal the same amount as a shark, but also get some prayer points?
Okay, maybe if it healed that much, but...
See, that's where I'm coming from.
Are they going to make it heal that much? I don't know.
They're supposed to be somewhat uncommon, right?
Yeah, maybe.
They're not supposed to be, like, crazy common. You're mostly going to be getting, like, the regular types of fish that already exist.
Okay. That changes my... Because in my mind, I was like, okay, if you're deep sea trawling, are you only getting haddock, blue tang, and sunfish? But if you're getting, like, the other fish...
Yeah, from what I've seen, and probably some of my own inference, you'll probably still just mostly be getting regular fish.
Okay.
And then these are like a new reward that incentivizes you to use this as a fishing method, not for XP, but instead for this new reward that you can get that does something special.
Okay. Yeah. Okay,
that's the way I came
with that, then.
From my perspective.
Yeah, sure.
So maybe the sunfish, maybe it gives... I don't know. But something along the effects of, like, it heals as much as a normal piece of food does, but also has, like, it gives you some prayer points, or has a low-level restoring effect or something for, like, when you get drained a small amount. You know, maybe you can... Oh, you can't do that. I was going to say maybe you could combo it with a brew, but the brew has to go after the hard food. Because that would be kind of a cool effect.
I mean,
if you
there's
could,
no reason they couldn't code it so that it's like... Don't carom ones go after brews?
No.
Is it... Okay, it's before brews.
I believe it's hard food, carom brew is the order you want to do it,
Gotcha.
to do all those at once. I believe the potion.
I mean, they could
last.
code it so you use it afterwards.
Yeah, it would be cool. It would be cool if you could like have a fish that could heal you, that could restore you back from one dose of brew, right? So you could brew single fish and get a little bit more health and not take any, any stat drain. I don't know why it took me that long to think of the word stat drain.
You got this.
But yeah, that could be kind of a cool space to explore, you know?
Yeah,
these would be fish that would just be like a little more expensive than, you know, your typical hard food that you bring to whatever content, but they have a little bit more going on.
And maybe, you know, some of the foods could have some more unique effects. I don't know what they could do, but you know,
it's Jagex's job to figure that out, you know. Maybe we get one that heals you over time a little bit. Maybe we get one that, you know, like I said, maybe it does something with your prayer, or, you know, run energy's a thing. Maybe we could do some run energy stuff. Who knows? There's all kinds of stuff you can play with.
Yeah, what if there was like a run energy over time food?
That'd be awesome. It doesn't need to be stam. You know, it doesn't need to give us a stam effect, but maybe it gives us a new run energy effect where it gives us run energy over time, even while you're running.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
And then you could use that alongside a stam to just run forever.
Yeah.
People like running.
Or, you know, temporarily while, like, a stamina, if you were to drink it and, you know, at 0 stamina, you'd go up to what, like 20%?
20, yeah.
It's theoretically possible you still run out of stamina if you're running around enough, and your armor's heavy enough. You know, what if one of the foods, like the blue tang or something, just stops your stamina from running out? It just can't go to 0.
Oh yeah, it just like locks it at 1. That could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of fun stuff you could do. That's where I think it should be approached from, right? It should be approached from, you'll mostly get normal fish, but these are what incentivizes you to possibly do sailing for less XP, but these interesting rewards. And that's why these can have kind of wacky effects, but still also be useful as good food, is because they're kind of rare. Kind of. Not like extremely rare, but, you know, just not crazy common.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how I think they should approach it. We'll see what they do. And then they got coral. They talk about being able to make, like, bolt ammunition and, like, armor with it. Who knows what it's going to do?
I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah,
man. That one I have no idea.
That's some really high level concept stuff. Like, I don't know what the new tips would do. I think there's like Zenyte tips in RS3.
Insane.
I don't know what those do.
They just one shot enemies, probably.
No. Let's see. I think there is a thing in RS3 that does one shot.
Yeah, it was like an event item.
Yeah. Let's see. Zenyte. Are they not called Zenytes in RS3?
I don't think so. No, I think there's a different type of thing. Look up an onyx and see what it makes. I know that it does. An onyx does upgrade into something, but I don't remember what it is. And it looks really weird. It's like orange and black.
Amulet of Souls, Death Touch stuff, Hydrix. That's what it's called. Okay, uncut Hydrix. Give me
We're going down the chain here.
Cut Hydrix. Okay. Now I have a cut Hydrix and it makes a bunch of stuff. Hydrix bolt tips. Okay.
We're getting somewhere.
It makes Hydrix backrominial bolts.
We got some whack ass metal in here too.
Yep. What is I don't even want.
Who cares? What do they do?
Bloodwood trees. Okay. When you enchant them, you get this creates enchanted Hydrix backrominial bolts, and those have a 10% chance of triggering Death Mark, which instantly grants the player 10% adrenaline and 1% from basic abilities for 15 seconds.
Adrenaline is kind of like Spec Bar.
Yeah, this just gives you Spec Bar, which that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's neat. Maybe we could get a spec.
Maybe that's
spec. Oh my god, that could be sick. Imagine you use for a boss that you use like ZCB on. You throw your Ruby specs, and then you just like switch to those bolts. Maybe cool. In some instances, it's better DPS to just pray that you get the spec energy back from the bolts.
Well, it sounds like every time you hit, like it marks them, and then they have like a debuff, and then when you hit them, you get spec back.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That would definitely be something where they'd need to lab it a little bit and make sure it works in old school, but it could be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, they're going to need to think of some wacky effects if these are going to be ammunition. And same with armor.
Yeah, I have no idea what
there's not a lot of gaps to fill for armor right now, at least to my knowledge. So I'm not really sure.
It would have to be like a niche armor that's useful.
Maybe they could force you to use it underwater by being like, oh, you need lightweight armor underwater, so you have to use coral armor. Who knows?
I feel like the video had an idea for the armor, but I can't remember what it was now.
I didn't watch the video. I only read the actual blog. I didn't look at the slide. Well, I glanced through the slideshow after having read the actual blog because I just wanted to see if there was any unique pictures, which there were not. So
that's fair. Yeah, okay. Those are some cool ideas. New low-level potions as well. I don't know what that would do.
Yeah. I wonder if they're coming at this from a free-to-play perspective. Because I think sailing's supposed to be free to play? ? I don't remember.
Is it? I haven't seen a single thing.
Yeah,
on
I don't know.
It's going to be free to play.
But maybe they're coming at that from a free to play perspective, where you'll be able to get Elkhorn in free to play, and you'll be able to like talk to the apothecary in Varrock, and you'll be able to make a new type of potion. I don't know. Maybe. Anyways, let's talk about islands. I think we've talked enough about these rewards. There's some space.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff in here.
There's some cool stuff in this island section. So they talk about, one of the most exciting rewards is being able to go to all these wacky islands that they'll be adding to the game.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people were looking forward to this kind of stuff. Like they wanted sailing just to be go to island, generate new thing.
Yeah, I didn't want RNG skill.
I don't want that. But
if we get that, just add dungeoneering. It already existed. It was already good. And just add it as a mini game. It doesn't really need to be a skill. It could be a skill, but I think it'd be too much of a hassle to get dungeoneering as a skill through the old school community. Just make it a mini game. People like it. It'd be a win.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about islands. So basically, the way they're going about islands right now is they're just going to expand the map. They're gonna add stuff, Yeah,
I mean, we have like a lot of space.
Oh yeah,
a lot of sea to add stuff. There's the huge area between Karen.
Guess what? Who gives a shit?
Elfland.
They could just move Karen further away if they want to add more islands. Who cares, man?
They said they weren't going to.
They said that now.
Creates a lot of issues. Wait, did they say they're going to?
No, they said that they aren't going to move it now. That doesn't mean it's not going to change.
That's true. Okay.
So we'll see, but
yeah, I think there's plenty of space. We have space up. Well, we don't have a lot of space up north. There's some space up north.
They can add more ocean.
Well, so the problem with that is like immediately north of the wilderness is all like the underground areas. And I can't imagine the hassle of moving all those instances in underground areas and like making the code properly like
move the rest of the world down.
I feel like it's even more work.
Yeah, I don't know.
They
kind of back themselves into a corner here, but
yeah, there's plenty of space to the west and to the east though that we can add stuff.
I think the south is also free.
Yeah.
If I remember right.
The south is
specifically
free.
North is fucked.
Yeah, to the east of Mauritania, they can add a bunch of stuff. They can add a bunch of stuff underneath, like, the desert area and Karamja, and they can add stuff to the west of Tiranwen, and, in between Korend and the Fremenic area.
And they do talk about specifically adding stuff to the western and eastern seas and show off concepts from your two favorite people that anybody have been following around from sailing, Gentle Tractor and Ninja Pig, both somewhat prolific artists in the old school community. Both had concept maps for what could happen to the eastern and western seas.
Yeah, I hadn't seen the Ninja Pig one until now. I've seen the Gentle Tractor one.
I don't know how I had, because I don't go on social media, but I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know how I hadn't. I do go on social media.
But yeah, they look good, and they say that, obviously these aren't exactly what they're going to look like, right? Gentle Tractor made the Korend rework, and he had some fucking interesting ideas, to say the least, and those didn't end up making it to the game. But right, they're not supposed to be one for one, we should add this to the game. It's just like, hey, this is what I thought of. I think it's kind of cool. And Jagex looks at it and goes, hey, that's kind of cool. We might do something like that. That's not identical, but, it's a good, especially for this, concepting phase that they're doing, it's a good thing to show to the community and be like, hey, these people made this thing, and we'll probably do something somewhat similar. Something to this effect. And it's a great way to show people what you want to do without actually having to make the art yourself. Because they got a lot of stuff to do, but also, it's easier for them if they don't have to do it.
It's also a collaborative effort between the developers and the players.
Yeah.
Like, we're all designing this together, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. I think it's an exaggeration to say we're all designing this together. But
I mean, they've taken a lot of ideas from the player base on this so far.
Yeah, but they won't take an idea from everybody.
I mean, yeah.
But, I get what you're trying to say. But I want to talk about turtle people.
Oh, it's so cool.
I want bird people.
So
turtle people are awesome. Yes. Love it. I also want bird people.
I love the turtle people.
And the griffins are also really cool.
I mean, they have the griffins, and I love that they're fucking seagull griffins.
Awesome, yeah.
It's so good.
For those of you that are listening in the audio version, which is all of you, if you haven't looked at the blog already, they have some concept art on here.
I'll link it in the description.
Some turtle people that are supposed to come from... It's an example. It's not necessarily going to be added to the game, though this has received a very good community reaction, so I think they would be stupid not to add this to the game at this point.
Yeah.
They give an example of this is a hypothetical of just something that you do in sailing. You go to a port and you find a strange person that is a member from an oceanic turtle tribe. Her name is Flupa, and she's been injured in a sea monster attack. You have to help her get back home and gain access to the Great Conch, which that name will probably... Oh, well, maybe it won't change, actually. Who knows?
I mean, the island that they show looks like a big conch. I don't think they show it in this blog.
Yeah, no. So that might be unofficial art. But...
Yeah, well, I mean, it looked like it was drawn by one of the J-mods.
Yeah.
But they show, like, an island that's conch-shaped that the...
Yeah, that's not all final, but... Basically, their pitch here is that you'd have to, as maybe a quest or maybe just as a task, you'd have to go to this island and, deliver this person back to their tribe, and then also help their tribe rebuild their little village that got attacked by a sea monster. And so they have some design space here to create new monsters, but also create new NPCs that do not attack you, or maybe also do sometimes.
Third page of the images that they have a drawing of the Great Conch Island kind of on a map.
Oh yeah, there it is.
But they showed another one, I'm pretty sure, in the video.
Sure, whatever.
I could be wrong about that. Don't quote me on that.
But yeah, they talk about some stuff here. They also then show a picture of a person, I think it's supposed to be a bob bot, fighting a griffin, which is it's a lion on the back legs and it's a seagull on the front legs, which is hilarious.
So good.
Notably, this Bob is also wearing a turtle shell backpack, which I think is cool.
With granite armor.
Yeah, he's looking like a Chad. I really like these griffins.
Beast.
Griffins feel like a pretty natural Slayer monster to the game. You know, we got like cockatrices and all these other
I'm surprised
basilisks.
it's been this long without griffins.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be honest.
Griffins feel like a completely natural addition to the Slayer monster repertoire. So I like it. It's cool. I want bird people. I'm biased as hell, but there should be an island with bird people. The turtle people, I'm not saying the turtle people shouldn't be there. Love the turtle people. Turtle people should be there. But also, bird people. Please. Thank you.
Maybe we'll get that on a different island.
That is my hope. I want bird people on some island. Anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we have
cool.
bird people. We have aviancies, but
True.
there's some lore involved there.
Maybe we'll get Aviancy Town.
Yeah, maybe some of the. I don't know. Obviously, we don't know how the lore of how old school works. But basically, when Guthix tells all the gods to fuck off, Armadil is like, okay, I'll fuck off. But I think Armadil asks if he can take the Aviancy with him, or maybe he asks if they can stay there. I don't remember. But there's like some lore implications that have to do with like what the Aviancy are allowed to do or something. I don't remember. But obviously, old school doesn't necessarily follow that lore, if I remember right. So,
yeah.
Well, remains to be seen. But it would be kind of cool if maybe they do their own thing with the lore, and there's like just some Aviancies that like don't even remember who Armadil is, and are just like out in the ocean, just living their life. That'd be kind of cool. I love in storytelling the a god creates everyone, and they used to interact, very frequently. And now, generations later, the god is completely forgotten, and they're just their own civilization now.
My problem with that is that I think that inevitably kind of leads to, the gods need to return in some way.
I disagree.
Or you have to,
I don't think that inevitably leads to that.
I feel like most stories I've seen...
I think most stories do that, but that's because they're unoriginal. It doesn't
necessarily have to, but yeah.
That's because they want to do that. You don't have to do that, though.
That's true.
Because, we already kind of have that. Saren's in the game. Saren created the elves. All the elves remember Saren.
A fragment of Saren, yeah.
Well, in lore, Saren is in the game, right? She left. She's gone.
That's true.
The elves still remember her. So.
Yeah, that's true.
But Saren isn't necessarily one of, the, main gods, but is still a god, so we already are all kind of on that plot line. But regardless, islands and stuff. I want bird people islands. Turtle islands, we got griffins, we got concept maps. I think we've covered that. Unless you got anything else to say about islands.
Nope, not really.
Cool. I'm just making sure we didn't miss anything. No, I don't think so.
I'm sure we'll get another blog specifically about islands.
Yeah, that'll probably be on the lore an integration one. I'm sure they'll talk a lot about certain things that they want to add to islands. And then they talk about cosmetics. They could add new stuff. They talk about how your sails could have different colors, patterns, icons. You could put your clan stuff on it. Cool, great, awesome, love it. Sailing cape, look, that's the big one. Sailing cape, I like this one. It looks good.
I saw a better design that has ropes around the anchor. I think that's a better design for the sailing cape.
I think it's a bit much.
Here, I'll link it.
I think I've seen it. I think it's too much. I like the simplicity of this cape. It looks like every other skill cape, and that's what I want.
Broadcasting chat. This is a design from Spaghetti Assassin. I'll link it also.
I don't know. I like the regular one. I like the one that they use.
I don't know. I like it. I think it looks good. I think it's a little too simple as it stands.
I mean, look at every other skill icon.
Well, I mean, it'd be like if construction was just a saw,
Ropes don't go on anchors like that. Hate to be that guy.
But
Ropes don't do that.
They do.
No, they don't. Why is your rope
coil
leading
around it?
Why is your rope leading below your anchor? That doesn't happen.
Okay, maybe if you're storing your anchor, I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't like it. I think it looks fine.
I think it looks good.
I like the one that they already have. I think it looks great. I like the brown. I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's blue, light blue with brown trim. I like it.
Design? No, it's slightly different from the design that the guy on Reddit posted.
I like the one that they have. I think it's good. What else did I talk about? Being able to unlock icons for sales. Cool, great, awesome. New player-owned house themes. Cool. Fine, I like it.
Ooh, sea theme?
Yep, sea theme, island theme, who knows? Cool.
Yo.
I'm down. Obviously, and then they talk about the skill cape. Cool. Talking about they're running a player competition where you can decide the final design. Honestly, I like the one that they already have, but maybe someone will come up with one better. That guy on Reddit made some. The ones with the boat look pretty mid. The anchor that's straight looks mid. I like the angled anchor.
Yeah.
I like it without the rope personally, but cool.
Yeah.
And then they go into a rewards by activity sum up, which I don't think we really need to go through. It basically just talks about every activity that they outlined in the gameplay loops blog, and they're like, okay, these are the rewards you might see from those. I think if you want to see this, you should look at the blog yourself. I don't think this is really a space that we need to talk about.
Yeah. It goes into depth, and I think us just reading this list would be really boring.
Yeah.
We've basically already talked about all the rewards. This just tells you, like, where you can get.
This notably also goes into a little more depth on, like, what rewards could do. For example, new coral potions could boost your sailing level or increase the chance of finding rare loot when dredging minerals. So they give more high-level ideas of what rewards might do.
Bonuses while on a ship.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Cool. There's some more stuff in here, but I think for the most part we've covered it here. We've talked about it. We've given our opinions. Mm-hmm. They got a survey. If you go down to the bottom of the sailing blog that they released, the Adding a New Skill, Sailing Reward Space blog from the 4th of July, Independence Day, let's go, 2023, you can take a survey, and it's very short. It's really short, and it's just a little bit of feedback about, what they had in the blog. Do you think it's good? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Give your opinion. They average these numbers out to see what people like. I wish they'd do more where they show the results of these surveys, because they did that.
This survey's different than the other ones.
Yes, it is. It is on a new website.
Yeah, this is just
it's just a Microsoft form, I think.
Yeah, interesting.
But it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they mention that July 6th today, the Q&A was happening, maybe already happened, probably already happened.
Probably happened this morning.
Yeah, I didn't see it. And then
it's like 2 a.m. for
it's always
Brits
at a
right now.
shank time because of that. So it's usually in the mornings. On the 14th, they'll be doing a Discord stages for the integration and lore, which will be the next blog. And then the 25th, they will be publishing that blog for the integration and survey. And then in August, they will have the final design blog and the lock-in poll to decide whether or not we actually want to add sailing. They won't vote in all the content for sailing, but they will say, here is everything we've told you. Do you want sailing? For realsies this time. And then as soon as that passes or fails...
I saw some sentiment from people that this is not going to pass the lock-in poll.
I think it will. I'm actually surprisingly optimistic about this. I've seen most people that I have talked to and seen sentiments from, even in pretty high level, elitist communities, be like, yeah, that seems fine. There's no... I haven't seen any hate about this. I'm sure those people exist that just hate this. Fucking, of course those people exist. But I think people that just are, air quotes, normal and just play the game, they're fine with it. Some people are more excited than others, but Most people seem to be okay with it.
I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I think it looks awesome. I think they clearly have a good idea here, and I'd like to see most of this added to the game. I am cautiously optimistic because Jagex has a habit of getting something past the polling stages and then fucking pulling a curveball out of left field and trying to pull in some like new whack reward that we didn't ask for. Looking at UTs. As a recent example.
I agree.
But for the most part, even when that does happen, nowadays they do a pretty good job of hearing that people are like, what the fuck is this? And being like, oh, we threw a curveball out of left field. You don't want that. We get it. So.
Yeah. Like I've said before, I'm glad we still do have the polls to like prevent like the random shit
weird
from left field
oddball
from entering
bullshit,
the game.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's sometimes we get stuff that's like, oh yeah, no, that is cool. I do want that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time it's like,
what were they cooking?
Yeah.
But yeah, I really hope this passes so far, it's all looked good. I hope that this passes the lock-in blog because I think they've done a good job.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, that's sailing as it is now. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the end.
Yeah, just make sure, if you want to read the blog, I'll have it linked down below in the description. Also in the description is going to be a bunch of other links. If you like this podcast, there will be not a link to follow it, but I'm sure there's a button somewhere to follow the podcast or subscribe or
whatever the platform you're listening on allows you to do.
Yeah, this is published on a million platforms. Like I don't know what they all do, but
make sure to smash that follow button, whatever it is.
You can also, if you really like it, give us a one-time donation on Ko-fi. And if you really, really like it, you could also subscribe on Patreon.
Wow.
Where we will shout your name out and give you our eternal gratitude for helping fuel my coffee addiction.
He might give you his eternal gratitude. I can't guarantee that mine will be eternal.
That's fair. You can also follow us on Twitter. We have a Twitter at GuthixRestPod. And we have a YouTube. We discussed before we were recording, I think going forward, we're just going to be slapping a static image.
I'm moving to low effort for the YouTube videos. I enjoy
just so that they can exist.
Yeah, I enjoy the end result of the editing that I was doing, but it's too much effort. I'm going to be working a new job soon. I'm not going to have as much time, and I'd like to use my time on something else that is more fulfilling to me. So I will just be slapping them onto YouTube. So if you are a YouTube listener, you might actually get the episodes on time now. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that'd be nice. You can also follow me on my personal Twitter. I will sometimes tweet there. Usually just, woo, I got a 99 or a pet. And I think that's it.
I don't know. Do you have a list for this shit yet?
No, I was gonna make a list and then I didn't.
I'm not doing it, so.
Oh, there's also a Discord. Discord's cool. We've
go.
been actually kind of chatting a little bit in it.
I haven't, I'll be honest.
That's fair. I
pretty average of me,
an
though.
Achievement I got in it. Speaking of achievements, Big Dog Larry got a Saradomin hilt.
Wow.
And he posted that. Congrats on the Sarah hilt. I think he's an iron on that account. I don't know.
GZ.
Maybe. Even if he's not, it's still a cool bit of cash.
Collection log. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. I love clogging, dude.
Clogging off.
Speaking of clogging off, thanks for listening, everyone.
Add this episode to your collection because you finished it.